Hello and welcome to my channel again. It's late again. I just posted or did one video and I'm recording another one after this. I'm trying to get these up to help out anybody who is interested in coming over here, so that's why I'm putting up a lot quickly. Next I am going to talk about customs, habits, food, and just general behavior in China. Okay, because it is very different than the States or pretty much anywhere else that I have been. So I'm going to start off with hot and cold. This sounds crazy, but the Chinese don't like anything cold. Food, water, the weather. I mean, they are dreadfully terrified of it. They feel that if your stomach, meaning inside your stomach or outside your stomach, the skin, like on your gut, if it gets cold, you get very sick. And I've been, or asleep, and my girlfriend will cover just my stomach with the blanket or a pillow or something, and it drives me crazy. I'm a big guy. I get hot easily. I'm hairy. I sleep most of the time with no covers, and I like to be cold. And they won't go barefoot in the house because the floor is cold and they feel they're going to get sick, so they're always wearing slippers. And I mean, it's just this huge thing. Most won't drink cold water. I don't know. I've not met a single Chinese person that drinks cold water. In the States, it's like, oh, give me iced tea or a cold Coke or a cold glass of water with ice in it or whatever. Ice is non-existent here. And just tip, if they do offer you ice, it's going to be from the sink, and if it melts in your drink, you're going to get sick. So just avoid the ice unless they can prove that it's from filtered water. And they really don't even eat raw vegetables because they feel that's cold, so they cook them. Very little. I've seen very few people here eating raw vegetables. Water is served boiling hot. Okay, I have also been served boiling hot orange juice, and you pick it up and you're like, oh, it's warm. Why is it warm? Maybe it's maybe they just clean the glass, in a dishwasher or whatever, and then you drink it and it's boiling hot. I spit it out all over the place. And it's just they don't drink cold stuff. Okay, if it's cold outside or if there's a draft, I mean, they are just miserable. And this, I guess, goes back to the old traditional thing, oh, it's cold, you're going to get sick. You catch a cold from being cold, which, that's not the case. It's all bacteria, viruses, that type of thing, but, that is still really prevalent here. All right, food, and a rather touchy subject. Yes, Chinese eat dogs, okay? So I just want to get that out of the way. They do eat dogs, but times are changing. There are a lot of activists, a lot of people here that look down on that, and it's an uphill battle to change it. But it is, even since I've been here, more and more people, they just completely ignore or don't even want to talk about it. But I have never met a single person who admits that they eat dog. They're all like, oh, that's disgusting. No, I would never do it. I would never do it. But it happens, okay? So if this is something that you feel strongly about, maybe you don't want to come here. Because I have, my old apartment, in the last video I talked about my crappy old apartment. Down the street at the end of the block was a restaurant called Dog and Donkey. Okay, now, I've never had dog, at least that I know of, but I have had donkey, and it is fantastic. Okay? It's like a lean beef. I'm not going to say it tastes like chicken. It tastes like a lean beef. Very, very good. All right? So, but where I live, the whole dog thing is rather uncommon. They don't do it because you got to remember, most of the people, or a good majority, a third of the people here are Muslim, and that is forbidden for Muslims to eat dogs. But like I said, I've seen it in restaurants and stuff like that. Now, for me, I've always grown up having a dog or two or three. I love them, okay? They're great. pets and everything like that, and I'm going to catch crap for this from some people that watch this, but I personally don't care if you eat dog or not, okay? It's fine. If you understand the history of China, they didn't have a lot of meat, they didn't have a lot of food available. If you don't have a lot of food available, what are you going to do? You got to eat what you have. Yes, they will eat rats if necessary. They will eat, I'm telling you, anything possible. If it crawls on the ground, they're going to eat it. So, if you're starving, you're going to eat your dog. I'm sorry to say. Now, it may not be the first choice, but what happens is over time it becomes part of the custom, part of the taste of the cuisine, and they just learn to eat it. Okay? Now, what I do care is how animals are treated before they're slaughtered and how they're slaughtered. Now, what happens a lot in China is they don't care about the conditions of animals. They don't care how they're living, if they're suffering, if they're in pain. And I've actually read and seen videos where they say, you know, the more violent, painful the death for the dog or the animal, the better the meat tastes. Okay, they have these, you know, customs or beliefs. I mean, it's just, by our standards, it's crazy. So I don't care that they eat dog or cat or whatever, and yes, they eat cats too. I don't care that they eat those animals. I care how those animals are treated while they're alive and how they're slaughtered. If it's done humanely, hey, have at it. And I watched a video not too long ago that made a really good point. Americans eat lots of beef. Indians think that's cruel. Okay? The cow is revered in India. So it's all about perspective and what you're looking at. Okay? Like I said, my family are big dog lovers, and they probably get pissed at me, but I don't care if people eat dogs. Just don't torture them. Just don't hurt them, you know, inhumanely. That's all I care. All right. Most of the food here is, you know, it's not too crazy by Western standards, but there are some pretty crazy, unusual food. Chicken feet, okay? And I know there's some people in the States that eat this stuff. I personally, I've tried it, and I don't understand why. Okay, I think Chinese just like to gnaw on something, like a leather belt would do, you know. Chicken feet, they have no taste. There's really no meat on them. So I don't understand the whole thing. Now, going back to when there's no food, absolutely, you're going to eat every little piece of possible nourishment you can, but I just don't get it. They also like to eat tendons and cartilage and things like that. The stomach is big, big, big. You can get this big spicy stew soup thing here in Ningxia, and it's basically tripe and chitlins, and they'll eat it all. Okay, they eat snakes, and the list goes on and on. Insects. Okay, I have tried silkworm larvae, which are basically like caterpillars, big caterpillar-looking things. Okay, you will see brains on the menu. Okay, sheep brains. The skull is split open. They cram in onions and peppers and all sorts of other little things, vegetables like that, and then they roast it over a fire and they serve it to you with the brain in, you know, like this, like Indiana Jones type stuff, okay? And the eyeball. And my, you know, a friend of mine, I'm at KTV, and they pop it in, you know, they like to feed you, so they grab it with the chopsticks and they pop it in, and it was the eyeball. And I told myself, I'm going to eat this if it kills me, and it took me like 10 minutes, because it's like eating one of those balls you get in a gumball machine, and, you know, it bounces all over. It was just horrendous, okay? And you'll even see cow and sheep penis for sale on menus, and I will try to get photos of that on the menus at some places. So that can be rather shocking to see. Alright, so how they prepare food is, you know, obviously a lot of stir fry. They use a lot of oil. It kind of reminds me when I was a kid and my mom would keep oil in a jar on the stove, you know, and then, you know, you pour it into the frying pan and fry up whatever you're doing, and it tastes really good, but actually not that good for you. Okay, they don't like to eat raw vegetables. They feel that cooking cleans it. which is a concern here. Make sure you wash your vegetables with clean water, not kitchen water, tap water. And once again, they feel that the raw vegetable is cold, which is bad for your stomach and your body. Okay, bills and paying, your utility and your phone and all that type of stuff. My girlfriend and I got into this debate earlier about this, and she didn't like how I was presenting, because what I'll do is I'll write everything that I'm going to say in these videos, and I have her read it, and she didn't like how I said it. So I kind of rewrote this. But okay, so you got your electric, your water, your internet, your gas bill, if you have a gas in the kitchen, your phone bill and stuff like that. How do you pay these? Okay, you think, oh, I can just go on the computer. No, it's a little different. When I first got here, I had a card, and I had to go to an ATM type machine. You put the card in, you hit the button, and you say, all right, I'm going to put in cash, and I put the equivalent of $15 or $30 worth of credit on the electric card. Then you take the electric card to a utility closet in your building of your apartment, and you swipe it in your corresponding slot to your apartment number, and that puts that much electricity on your account. Okay. The whole process drives me a little batty, but now it's a little easier. And the thing my girlfriend got a little frustrated with me is she's like, you can do it over the phone. And I said, sure, okay, you can call the company and say, this is my card number, and I want to put 100 RMB on the card. But you still got to go to the little utility closet and swipe it. And my biggest complaint is I don't know when my power is going to be cut off unless I go to the closet and say, oh, I got 15 left, I got 10 left. Okay, now what happens is, let's say it cuts off. The card will keep 10 on there as in a backup, and then you go and you swipe it and it puts 10 RMB on there, and that'll get you through the next day or two until you can go get more money put on the card. But I'm like, why this whole process with going to the utility closet? Why don't you just do it over the phone in the company? But they just don't do it that. It's not centrally located. It's located in each building. Okay, it's all separate. And that goes for water and gas and electric. Cell phone you can pay through WeChat, and all these you can pay through WeChat. But the whole card thing, just swiping it in the utility closet, it drives me crazy. But like I said, that's one of the things you got to do. Okay, manners and etiquette. Oh, whew. So social etiquette and manners are very different here. You will see people hack up phlegm and snot and just spit and dump it right there on the street or the sidewalk. I've even seen people do it inside the lobby of places, hotels, restaurants, and I'm talking, I don't understand. And I've seen guys like hold their nostril and blow snot out. I think the only time I spit is when I'm brushing my teeth, or if I eat something that is bad. I don't understand the need to spit all the time. And I mean, you can watch, I've recommended some other expats on YouTube that do this same type of thing as I am, and they'll actually show videos of these people spitting. Why do you need to spit so much? But it's a whole different culture, so that's something you got to look out for. All right, children and adults. Okay, and some people will say this isn't true, but I have got friends that will back this up. You'll see children and adults urinating right on the street, right on the sidewalk, out in plain sight, and defecating, just dropping their pants, squatting down, and crapping in the grass right next to the sidewalk in the bushes. I've seen this probably 10, 15 times since I've been here. Most of the time, you'll see like a little 3 or 4-year-old baby or kid that needs to go to the bathroom, and the parents put it off, and they'll hold the kid's butt over the trash can, and they crap into the trash can. But I've seen grown men ranging from 20 to 50 years old or whatever, just right in the bushes, right next to the street, cars driving by, and they're taking a dump right there in the grass. Okay? I've read and heard that the government is trying to crack down on this, but honestly, I just don't see it happening. Okay. Next is waiting your turn. Okay. Now, this is something that I've read and that Chinese tourists are pretty, famous for all over the world, or infamous, is, let's say you go to a restaurant and you're waiting in line to order. Let's say it's like a counter and you go and you order and it's takeout or whatever. And you're second in line. And if you don't push your way up to the counter as the other person in front of you leaves, they're just going to go right in front of you and elbow you out of the way and order their food. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at my phone at Burger King, a few weeks ago, and 2 women right in front of me. They don't even, in the States this would cause a huge issue, but they don't care. They just don't care, okay? Now the other thing is elevators. Let's say that I am waiting for an elevator on the ground floor with some other person, Chinese person. The elevator comes down to the floor, the doors open, there's people inside. Let's say it's full, 5, 6, 10 people. Most of the time, the person that I'm waiting with on the ground floor will just go right into the elevator, not waiting for it to unload. And, coming from the States, it's like, you let the people out, it makes room for us to go in. No, the people are coming out and they'll just right into each other every single time. And if somebody says that I'm lying, they're full of crap, okay? It is the truth. Alright, so, and this basically just causes this big jam of people right there in the elevator, escalators, anywhere it's like this, okay? So you gotta be, if you don't want to get left behind, you gotta push your way in a little bit sometimes. Alright, eating. Alright. Ugh. Yes, Chinese will slurp and smack and chew loudly and pretty much non-stop while they eat. Okay, it's a sign. Basically, it's like, it basically means, this food is delicious. That's what it means. Okay, it's a compliment. This restaurant, they cook really good food. Okay, it's a compliment. And no matter how many times I've been here or been out to eat or eat with Chinese and they do it, I can't get used to it. I just, if I had ever done that as a kid, my father would have, smacked me in the back of the head. But that's how it is here. So you're going to have to just accept it and go with the flow. Okay? So those are just a few little customs and habits and stuff. I'm working on another video. I got to write everything up about marriage and dating. Okay, in the next video is hopefully the one I'll post. If it's not the next one, it'll be in the next 2 or 3. But dating and marriage, what you can expect to find when you come here if you want to find a girlfriend or a boyfriend. And it's different for expat men and women. Okay, it's much easier for a man to find a girlfriend than it is for a girl to find a boyfriend. Okay, and we'll talk about that. It's just very, very different. But I will see you guys next time, and it's just after 3 a.m. right now, so I'll probably get to sleep soon. But hope you guys enjoyed the video, and once again, message me here on the comment section or send me an email at chinaconsulting@mail.com. And I hope to post I've done about 3 or 4 videos I got to post up. I think I got about 5 up already. But I hope to see you guys soon, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.